I represent Ayla Networks, based in California, which is where I live, originally from London. Ayla does device management and virtualization for the Internet of Things. So what that means is we enable customers to connect their devices to the Internet, get really useful data back, and also command and control those devices. And we do that across the connected home, the connected business, and into industrial IoT. I think the really interesting thing about industrial IoT is just the volume of data that we're collecting. And because there's so much data coming back, traditional methods and ways of looking at that data and acting on it and actioning it and operationalizing it no longer really work. The volume's just too big. Lots and lots of companies connect tons of data and effectively do nothing with it because they just can't. And so I think the future, and I know it's a buzzword, but I think the future is ML, right, and AI. That's the only way to process the volumes of data that we're getting back. So I think that's where the focus needs to be. IoT is really important. If you think I read one statistic that said by 2020, $3.5 trillion of money will move between people who successfully embrace IoT to those people from people that don't. So I think IoT is critical for companies to embrace. I think getting to market quicker, releasing MVP products and then updating in the field. I think being agnostic to connectivity type and connection method, being agnostic to application providers and platforms is all really, really important. None of us have a crystal ball, so you have to put in place systems and processes that don't require you to have a crystal ball. So I think that's really interesting. I would love to say that we're going to see these phenomenal standards be developed and we'll all be able to get on board with the standards, but I think the reality is we won't. I think we're going to see many, many, many more types of devices and devices connected. I think we're going to start to see effective ecosystems come together across manufacturers and across groups of manufacturers, but I still think we're a long way from standards. And so we're going to run into all of the types of problems that you run into when you have lots of devices talking, with no standard. And that means lots of edge case problems, and that means probably a bunch of security holes as well that companies like us have to help our customers address. I think they're awesome, right? And the reason that they're awesome is because this industry and IoT is evolving so quickly, right? And no one talking with no standard. And that means lots of edge case problems, and that means probably a bunch of security holes as well that companies like us have to help our customers address. I think they're awesome, right?